This is Dan Vlamis. We'll be starting in another minute or so. Give people a chance to join. Look forward to your comments on the webcast. So you can type stuff into the questions panel or the chat panel. We'll go through that in a little bit. Well, I've got top of the hour, so let me welcome you all to today's webcast on Oracle BI demo resources. And this also serves as a somewhat of a launch of the version 607 of SampleApp. Some of you may be familiar with the SampleApp application. We use that for really just about all of our demos, thanks to our friends on the SampleApp development team. Also, we'll be talking about a new feature that Oracle has coming out called the BI Public Store. So there's my contact information. Would love for you to follow us on Vlamis Software. Tweet us at Vlamis Software or tweet me personally at dvlamis, and we'll announce other upcoming webcasts. To give you a sense then of Vlamis Software Solutions, founded over 20 years ago. We've developed all sorts of Oracle BI and analytics systems. We specialized in Oracle-based enterprise business intelligence and so forth. We have multiple ACEs and a bunch of consultants that average over 15 years. You'll find on Vlamis.com our blog, papers, newsletters. It's not just a fluff website. We have a lot on there, including these presentations. We're also co-authors of the book on data visualization for Oracle BI, and a book on Essbase and Oracle OLAP. We're a university partner and a gold partner, and very proud of it. Developed a lot of that content and worked with Oracle very closely. This is in a series of webcasts that we've given on OBIEE and BI Cloud Services, starting back with the 11G release. You can see all of these are out on our website. So I actually use this at times when I'm trying to remember what version was a certain feature in. I go back and look at my own webcasts to see what are the high-level features on this. I've just bulleted some of these from the past, few releases. If you go to the individual webcasts, you'll find the PowerPoints that you can download for yourself. And I think for just about all these, there are replays of the entire, usually hour-long webcast. I'll highlight one in particular that was recent, that was just in July of this year, on the release of 12.2.1.1 new features. That included a demo of a lot of these new features in Oracle BI. And so rather than repeating all of that in this webcast, I figured let's go through a lot of what's new in SampleApp specifically, and kind of a more general, more demo-focused webcast is what I'll go through on this. Just to recap real quick for those of you that might have missed that, 12.2.1.1 was the first patch release of 12c. The big ticket item for that is feature parity for BI Cloud Services and Data Visualization Cloud Service. We'll talk a little more about that later on in this webcast. But now they're all kind of together in a future parity. There are more data visualization enhancements, data wrangling, new data sources and permissions, the ability to scope down what you can see. There's some blending that happens with external data sources. We now have dashboard subpages. You'll see that in SampleApp, by the way. And many other things. The webcast is on the Oracle BI 12.2.1.1 new features. Check it out if you want to know more, and you can view the entire webcast. If you want to communicate during this, you can ask questions in the little questions panel on here. You can find all of our webcasts on our website, and you can ask questions in here or chat with me, that type of thing, as you talk on this. What we'll go through today in today's agenda, we'll just give a quick demo of data visualization and OBIEE just to kind of ground you in what this stuff is. I always anticipate there's a few people that maybe aren't familiar with the software. Then we'll go over a BI overview and give a little bit of the flavors of the product. I have a slide put together that kind of contrasts what you can do with the different flavors. The platform has grown. Want to make sure everybody knows what you can do. Then really the guts of this is a demo of some pre-built dashboards using SampleApp. We'll talk about how you can get that for yourself. It's a virtual machine that you can download for yourself, and a little bit of an overview of Data Visualization Desktop. We'll incorporate that into that, and demo of DVD, and how to get the sample DVD apps for yourself. Hopefully we'll have a chance to show that as well. And then if you just are totally new to this and you just want to take a test drive of this stuff without downloading anything, we do have a program where you can test drive BI Cloud Services, register for an account with us, and we send it to you, and you get free access for 24 hours. So if that's of interest to you, we'll talk about that at the very end. And then we'll have some Q&A. Feel free to ask those questions as we go along. You'll find that your lines are muted. That's so we don't get background noise. But you can type them in, and I'll try and address them and provide audio feedback of some of those questions. So with that, let me go back and rather than getting into this, I'm going to do a quick demo of what this looks like. This is what our website looks like for running. You'll see there's a bunch of papers and presentations on here. This is by year. We've got over a decade's worth of presentations on here, and so you can see a fuller demo of this if you click on this watch replay here for the new features webcast, and you'll find that this will say watch replay for this webinar as well if there are people that missed this. Now let me go ahead and show you just a little bit of what this looks like in Visual Analyzer. I've went ahead and loaded this up. I am running SampleApp v607, so I'm going to just give you a sense of what this looks like. I kind of always start with this just to give you how things were built by the SampleApp team. If I expand some folders in here, and I want to look at month, brand, and revenue, I'm going to just do the most basic thing I would do, create the best visualization and ask Oracle BI, the Visual Analyzer component of it, to ask for what's the best visualization. It would come up. It thinks a line graph, primarily because there is a time-based axis, and it brings up a graph of that. As I hover over each of those lines, the brushing feature will then highlight the line that I'm looking at, give you the exact data values. I can change visualizations in here, so I can change the visualization type to a bar, something like that, and it'll change that. Go back to a line. There are a bunch of different types of visualizations, and rather than me trying to build everything here, I'm going to save some time by showcasing some of this in the system. Trust me, there's a lot in here. Save your own visualizations, add your own custom calculations. One thing I'll just show real quick, because it's relatively new, is the ability to right-click on here, and now there are some features using some analytics functions, and the ability to, for instance, just add a forecast that easily. I can change how many periods it's going to go, that type of thing. But notice that forecast just appears, and hopefully you can see it on your screen in lighter colors. You can see the forecasted values for this using a embedded R engine. So with that, I just wanted to give a grounding of that. I'll show one other thing in here, and that is in SampleApp we'll be using this. This is the dashboards layout. And when you download SampleApp, you get a bunch of dashboards that are already pre-built for you. We'll be walking through these as we go through the demo. There's way too much to ever show all of this, but all of these are available. If I look at this Quick Start Index, I got to this by clicking on SampleApp v607 Index. And in here is a Quick Start area that includes a section. This is what I always look to, by the way, new content in the latest version. There's a couple new things in here I'll showcase real quick. One is an overview dashboard of this. If I click on that link, it will then replace this and show some of the new content that's in here from the Visual Analyzer interface in what's new. So there are jet visuals. We'll go through some of this, and you can see what's new in each of the major versions of SampleApp as it came out. So then if you click on this full index, each one of these, by the way, and let me showcase one other that's kind of interesting. This came actually out of one of the questions in the previous webcast. And one of the questions was, can you embed a data visualization project, something you've built, into a dashboard? And if this example shows that if you just click on this, this is built using, by the way, Answers, for those that are familiar with this interface. So now inside an Answers dashboard, I'm running the Visual Analyzer project inside of that. And I'm seeing what that looks like. I can go into presentation mode or edit mode. And then all the features of Visual Analyzer are still here. This is not a static image. I can rotate these things around, go into presentation mode and edit mode and so forth, and change this all around, all within the confines of a dashboard. So those that said, no, you can't do that, nope, that's not true. You can change these things. Each one of these is a dashboard, and if you expand the full index, you'll see this is the Quick Start area. Within that, there's also a Visualizations area, Mobile. All these are dashboards with examples that you can tear apart and see how these are done. You want to know about maps, you want to know about various ways of doing dashboard design and so forth. There is a lot here. So I highly recommend that you download this, take a look at this, how catalog content is organized, and you can see the passwords. All that is fully exposed for you, so you can take advantage of this fantastic resource. So with that, let me back out and show you a few things that I found in terms of helpful ways of running Oracle BI. The standard way of running Oracle, and I'll come back and demo more stuff later on in the webcast. That's the meat of what we're talking about today. The standard way you run is a desktop, run in a browser, pick your flavor of browser, and then most people are familiar with this, your ability to run an on-premise Oracle BI. And you're running in the BI server. In there is, by the way, a map of how you get to your data. It's called the RPD file, and that accesses your on-premise database. For those familiar with Oracle BI, this is the standard way that's been working for quite some time of how you get at your data. This process of mapping the data allows you to specify joins, aggregation methods, summary tables. How does the data aggregate it up from lower levels to higher levels? You can do all sorts of very powerful things with this architecture. And this is what we've had for quite some time. Now with the Visual Analyzer and Data Visualization release in 12, we have the ability to reach out to external sources such as Excel spreadsheets, and you'll see that has expanded greatly to include other sources such as cloud apps that are running on the cloud. And notice that those are accessed directly from Oracle BI. They do not go through the RPD layer. That's a benefit and a handicap. The benefit is you can get at whatever data you want. You have a spreadsheet, you can load it up and look at it with your BI tool. You have something on the cloud you want to look at, that's great. And all sorts of other table sources. Indeed, something new in 12.211 is the ability to get at Oracle relational tables directly from Oracle BI. And you don't go through the RPD layer. It's great in that you can go anywhere you want. The difference is that now, if you accept that responsibility, you're figuring out how to join between the columns. It's a very nice interface, but still you end up having to do some of that data wrangling yourself. You can even go after big data such as Spark and MongoDB, Hive tables, that type of thing. Now, Oracle has also come out with a service that says, gee, maybe I don't want to be responsible for running my own BI server and keeping it up and backing it up and all that type of stuff. They have a BI Cloud Services offering that has that same data model capability that can go against your on-premise database, or it can go against the database cloud service. And in this case, Oracle is taking care of where do I keep my database up, how do I back it up, and how do I provision it, adding new disk space, all that type of stuff you offload to Oracle with their database cloud service. You also have the ability with BI Cloud Services to do a mashup capability against your Excel spreadsheets or against BI apps, that same type of capability. Now, another thing that came out just about a year ago was the ability to have something called the Data Visualization Cloud Service, a subset of BI Cloud Services. And in that case, you can go against Oracle spreadsheets, against Excel spreadsheets, BI apps, and so forth. And any of those, again, you accept your own responsibility for going against those sources using a browser. Finally, just last about the turn of 2016, beginning of 2016, Oracle came out with a data visualization desktop client running in the same computer as you run your desktop. This does not require a browser. It's a standalone Windows application. And from that, you can get at all of these data sources without any map, without any RPD file. And you'll see this as we go on through the examples, how you map some of these columns and get at some of this data without the benefit or the having to do all the mapping as a separate IT type of function. Anyway, available, a summary of that if you want to see. It's one code line for all of the Oracle BI products over various distinct channels to get at these various databases, and where you see check marks is where you have access to that, either using the RPD file or using a direct connect type of connection where you can go any place you want. Each end user can access anything they want without having to have somebody in IT model the data for this RPD file, but also they end up accepting the responsibility. You don't have column renames. Everything is as it appears on the database. So hopefully that gives you a sense of some of the different offerings here. People have asked me before what the differences are in the different parts of the product, and I thought it useful to go through that. Now, in SampleApp v607 is a virtual machine that is created by the Oracle Product Management Demo Group. And they've put together this demo environment that you can download as a standalone virtual machine that contains an Oracle database and all sorts of other features in it. It runs on Enterprise Linux 6.7. It contains OBIE 12.2.1.1. That's the latest release, and contains all of the parts of basically Oracle BI. It contains also an Oracle database 12.102 as a pluggable database. We've actually done some experiments when you can rip this out and replace it with other things and use it for other purposes. There's Oracle R Enterprise in there, Cloudera, and various utilities in here. By the way, it also includes a full MV demo, map viewer demo is out there as well if you want to look at that. Lots of things in that sample image. Some of the sourcing features, just some high-level things of what's new in v607. There's the ability to get at multiple data sources. Spark, Impala, Hive, all these are running systems that you can use with SampleApp, and you can see how did they pull these together. That's the value of being able to use SampleApp, is be able to rip things apart, see some sample dashboards, and everything is exposed. You can read all the code, everything, all this. There are some new data sourcing features. This is a list of sources that you can access at this point. By the way, I've seen that's growing. Stay tuned for new ones that are coming out. There's the ability to include SQL-based sources, including, by the way, advanced SQL, such as a prediction function that's built into the Oracle database, part of the Oracle Advanced Analytics option, and the ability to do data blending, that type of thing. They're also new in this is some free-form data visualizations, and we'll show that hopefully later on if we have time in the presentation to show what that looks like. Something like a timeline infographic. This is live, and you can get at this via Oracle BI, and very nice. There are lots of data visualization options with storytelling, new visuals, all that. If you want to know more about what's new specifically in 12.2.1.1, look at the prior webcast on this. One of the things you also see is BI dashboard subpages, the ability to have different dashboards, and then within that pages, and within that subpages. And what you'll see is the SampleApp team starting to take advantage of those features in the base product to allow for better navigation of your dashboards. All right, so with that, let me kind of jump into showcasing what some of this stuff looks like. It's a little more interesting to see it live rather than just on PowerPoint. So let me flip back to SampleApp. As I mentioned, here is these are the general pages of main index, how catalog content is organized, and these are sub-pages, by the way, one of the new features in 12.2.1.1. So let me just come up and load some of these that I've already looked at. You saw the embedded content that you can look at. Let me come in here and also show one of the things that you can do is look at, using JavaScript, there's the ability to look at jet visuals. This is a new capability to be able to show a Sankey network type of diagram, where on the left I'm looking at various countries, and as I hover over each one of the countries, it will then highlight the individual companies that that's going to. So it's a nice visualization that's put together using the Oracle Jet engine. And if you want to see how this is put together, you can tear it apart and see how this was done. You can include your own visuals for this type of thing by using some JavaScript. But what that does is it really opens up the ability to see all sorts of different types of visualizations. If your favorite visualization is not in Oracle BI, you can generally extend it to include whatever you need using the same type of capability. There are a bunch of them. I won't go through them all in here, but there's a bunch of things in this dashboard. You can see how you can build all of these visualizations yourself and include them. So let me come in and also show you one other thing I wanted to go through. There's an example in here. Let me just show where this came from. And if you were to go into main index, look at what's new. If you come down here, here's the embedded DV projects and BI dashboards. Here's the jet visuals with the Sankey sunburst. And then I'm going to show the sports NFL demo, weather impact on score. I've just preloaded some of these so they just come up a little faster on here. So this has, in the NFL stats area, you can look at the weather impact on the score. Let me go through a little bit of what this looks like. So if I were to look, for instance, this is looking by temperature. If we were to, and Oracle has gotten some publicly available data that they've loaded into the Oracle database, and then they've run regressions on this using R packages. And they've said, okay, let's try and just do a regression to figure out for each of these teams, how does temperature influence their average score? And then this is using a trellis chart to display going across, because it's hard to show all the teams in one big thing. They just put it in a grid going across A through H and 1 through 4. And then this is a map that tells you Arizona Cardinals is A1. And if I hover over that, you can see it's Arizona Cardinals. So it turns out that as the temperature, you can see the temperature going across here from 20 up to 90. As the temperature increases in Arizona Cardinals, the average score over the past 10 years of their historical data that they have loaded in here, as the temperature increases, and this is just a little scatter plot showing this, the average score then increases. Surprise, surprise, Arizona, the football team likes hot weather. Just picking on another one, if I come down here to the Seattle Seahawks, surprise, surprise, in Seattle, as the temperature increases, they actually don't do as well in terms of what their average score is. We pick some of these out. When it's 82 degrees, the expected score is 16, but when the temperature is 24 degrees, the expected score is 27 over the life of all of these different games. So then we ask the question, all right, so how does weather impact an upcoming game? And how can we rank the various teams? Here we've got an assorted bar graph showing from the Dallas Cowboys, they really do much better with temperature higher temperatures, and Seattle Seahawks are one of the worst in terms of how it adversely affects them. You can pick out your own. If you download this, you can look at your own favorite team and see how it's done, how it impacts this. So let me go ahead and pick an example here. If I were to look at next game head-to-head in here, and I'm going to pick out, I happen to be talking to you from Kansas City. That's my hometown. So I'm going to select the team Kansas City Chiefs, and as it turns out, I loaded this with them playing against the Houston Texans to see how that's. There's another people in our company that are closer to Houston. So I'm going to look at how that compares, and we're going to look at the regression of temperature for the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Texans. Kansas City, generally, you'll see that as the temperature rises, their expected score rises, and for the Texans, for Kansas City, as it rises, they do worse, but the Texans do better with hotter temperature. When we look at wind speed, you can see how that affects things, humidity, and also the model gets into where they play, the longitude. So I'm going to go ahead in here and load a score predictor, and we're going to look at how they do in Kansas City Chiefs. I can scroll down. I've already selected them. Houston Texans, how they do, and where they're going to play. Believe they're going to be at NRG Stadium. And this is for actually the game that takes place on, I believe it was September 18th. I purposefully picked this so that any of you that are out at Oracle Open World, I'll be speaking on September 18th. So I may miss part of this game. But we'll make a prediction here, and if you're out there, give me a hard time if it doesn't go the way we say it's going to go. Then we have a little bit of a what-if type of capability. We can go ahead and adjust the slider prompt for whatever temperature we think it's going to be on game day and whatever wind speed it's going to be. And it's actually very interesting. It's live updating this as I change this. And we know that Kansas City likes cooler weather compared to Houston. And so we're going to try and see if we can make this. Right now it's predicting that Kansas City is going to win, obviously, 23. If we then make it really hot, we'll see what happens to the score. And the wind is changing as well, changing the score. But you know what? No matter what, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Either way, the Chiefs are going to win. So that's my prediction for this. It's actually kind of fun to go through here and use this type of model to predict which team is going to win given whatever conditions based on really historical data. Now there are some issues in whenever teams move from one city to another, it kind of messes up the model. But it's kind of cool. You can come in here and look at quarterback statistics, all this in here. You know, what happens if a quarterback moves from one team to another. It's kind of cool, all based on the analytics in the database, and as well looking at using Oracle BI to predict NFL scores. It's a cool dashboard, kind of fun to look at. Thought I'd just pick this out and show that as an example. All right, so I'm going to come back and show one other thing that I wanted to get to, and it's really in the data visualization desktop product. And I wanted to be able to showcase this. In this case, this is now, I'm not in a browser anymore. I'm running an application on my desktop called DVD, Data Visualization Desktop. This is a free download from Oracle. You'll find it out on OTN. There are links to it from some of the resources that I'll be showcasing. And this can access all sorts of data sources, as you'll see. I've loaded one with some data that came with this package that you'll see that I show. This is some sample order lines, some forecast stuff, just to showcase some of the forecasting capabilities of Oracle BI. We're looking at year, and within that month going across, all the gray bars are actual data, and then we're showing different types of forecasting methodologies using standard ETS type of forecasting methodology, exponential smoothing, and looking at that versus a standard ARIMA model. The red is the ARIMA model, and we're looking at the gray is the forecast, and then these are, I'm sorry, the gray is the actuals, and then these different lines are different types of forecasting algorithms without getting into all the details on this, whether it's additive or multiplicative and such. And you can see they do differ. One of the interesting things with this visualization, it's nice to be able to say the bars are the actuals, but let me go ahead and show what happens if we change this to a line. It actually showcases something very interesting. These are actuals going across, and starting with here we have the forecast. Notice that you can tell it's forecasting a dip, and you might wonder why is it forecasting such a dip from where we are. It's because the forecast model, each of the models forecasts a dip, and that's because notice we have these seasonal spikes that happen, and it's thinking we're going to hit a drop. And so that really shows well when you switch this to a line. You can see it's going to drop, and just like it does every February, it always, every January it drops when you start this. Anyway, just an example of some of the types of things you can do. If you then look at how these calculations are done, by the way, you can see these are calculations that are done behind the scenes. If I just pick on one, the ETS multiplicative, it's the MMM one, and I look at editing the calculation, all this is exposed. This is how the calculation was done using a forecast function. You can see where this comes from and how this was handled, and pick out, well, how would I use that in my own applications. Pretty powerful capability using built-in functions in the server layer that are exposed to the data visualization desktop engine. Let me show another one of these that I've downloaded. By the way, I downloaded all these. You can see this is the forecast syntax examples. I downloaded these from the BI public store that I'll talk about later on. And you can download these things for yourself, have the full data set and everything. I'm going to load one called a Oracle Stock Analyzer. And this is, again, a set of publicly available data on Oracle's closing stock price for the past 5 years through 2012. This first top visualization is the closing price. This is one visualization. By the way, I can reorder these. I've reordered some of these from the default the way I received it because I wanted to showcase some of this a little bit differently. But this is the closing price starting in January through December, and you can see, you know, it's been hovering between 20 and now at this time going up to 30 or so. If we run a model on this and look at the trend, we've decomposed that stock price into 3 different components: a trend, a seasonal component, and then the remainder, the noise, if you will, that makes that up. So here's the average trend going across, and you can see that kind of mimics the line here that we see. And then we've picked out the seasonal variation that is jumping around, looks like somewhere in April 25th is the high point each year if we try and graph that over those years. Around April, end of April is when to, according to this analysis, that is when you would want to sell your stock, and then you can pick out your own low point. And then the remainder is what's left behind. This is the noise in the data, if you will. Obviously, stock prices are going to have some noise. So all this is, you know, calculations that were done on this data, and you can look at these in several different ways. You can save this away. You can create other presentations. You can drag and drop to reorder these. There's a whole presentation mode if I don't want to see this. There's a storytelling mode to be able to put in comments on this that you share with others. There's ways to share things. There's a ability to go in and change additional data sources, add then in, change visualizations. There's a storytelling. There's a lot in here. All of that is available with the data visualization desktop and those other flavors of Run the Oracle BI. I'm just choosing this because it's easier for me to showcase some of this using data visualization desktop. Let me show one other, is the 100 years of the auto industry, that will showcase some other features within Oracle BI. In here, we've built a visual, and I'm going to go ahead and play this. put this in presentation mode. And then what that does is puts in a background image. You can see a little speedometer on here. I had to change a few things to enable this, but I got rid of that image and put it in the background. But then this is a free-form infographic that's been put together with DVD, be playable in BIX or OBIE for that matter. But then what it does is each one of these is a visualization. And so the power of this is the ability to create any of these visualizations and make them live. So as I hover over, you can see each one of these is live, and all this is a visualization. If I just drag this over, if I then, I can highlight each one and take it out of presentation mode. I'll show you how this is built. Each one of these is a visualization, so I can drag this up. Okay, to change it, I'll just break things and won't save my changes. And then each one of these, I can come in, as I click this, I can change this from an area to a bar graph, something like that, and then it'll update just this portion of this. And each one of these is done. It's pretty clever the way you can put these together and have a nice looking timeline that is put together. It took some work, but it's nicely done. So let me go ahead and revert to save. That way I won't destroy my example in here. And then each one of those infographics was its own data source on that, was its own table for that. So all of this, you want to download this and see how they did it, what these things were done, and all of this, you can download these things and generally tear them apart. So let me go ahead and talk about how you can get some of this yourself if I come back here. All right, so we've looked at SampleApp features. The BI Public Store I'll talk about in just a moment, and then there's a data visualization desktop component. If you want to look at these resources, this is where you get SampleApp for yourself. Go to this URL, or if you just Google, I'll tell you, if just Google Oracle BI SampleApp like that, this will come up as the top link. And all of the consultants use this as the way they showcase Oracle BI. It's a full VM that you download. I'll warn you, it's big, so clear up some disk space, but it has the full running product on there, and then you can start it up. There's a whole getting started guide that comes with it that tells you exactly how to start stuff up. You will need the software from Oracle that runs virtual machines for this, but that's all you need to load, and then everything runs within its own little container. You can share it with others and so forth. So it does take a beefy laptop, somewhere around, you'll need 12 gigs of memory, something like that, in order to run this virtual machine. Just know it's a heavy user of resources. There's also, if you want to just play things on YouTube, you don't want to download anything, you just want to click, there's a very nice YouTube channel on here that you can capitalize on as well. So, you know, let me just go ahead and click on that, and that should bring up that YouTube channel and show you what's out there. Out there is a video that presents on what's new in the DV desktop, and then each of these are videos that you can play with various demos that Oracle has produced by the BI Tech Demo team. There's a lot in here, a lot of quick tips and so forth. Notice they're all relatively short. These are all 2-minute to 7-minute videos on how to do things, including some of them are full tours, some of them are little how-to tips and how to do various things. It's a great resource that we use in our consulting practice to show stuff. Notice here's a demo on the NFL weather data, and that's what I was showing with the NFL teams thing. You may find that that demo showcases better than what I showed live. So take a look at that, and you can look at all these in YouTube. So that's the SampleApp and the YouTube channel. There's also something new called the BI Public Store. This is the ability to run A bunch of these demos Oracle has curated. Indeed, I've seen kind of the behind the scenes of where they pull these things from. There's a bunch more coming. This is what they have stood up. Notice the BI Public Store. Last time I looked, this wasn't working, but I'll take a look again at the end. But in this BI Public Store, you can get at the infographics for Oracle DB. That's where I downloaded that from. There's the forecast function, syntax examples, and the advanced analytics. All this is available in the store. You just download this, and it runs in Data Visualization Desktop. And you can download all of those. It's live. I've seen it. That's where I downloaded the stuff. Some of these actually just literally last night in doing these. Then finally, the thing I want to highlight is the ability to run. Some of this is available in blogs from Oracle. So if you look at the Underground BI and Data Visualization blog, here's their latest post was on DV Connector to the Right Now cloud service. So you want to see how that works? Here's a video on exactly what this is. Here is the announcement. Actually, just last week on SampleApp is available for free download. I actually worked together with the SampleApp team to schedule this webcast right on the heels of this being publicly available. Excited to be able to showcase this all to you all today. And this goes through some of what the new features are. And down here, you'll see all sorts of articles on how to do things within Oracle BI, including, you know, that infographic, how they put that together, how were they able to do that? Normally in data, when you drag a visualization, it snaps to where it should be, or you can specify freeform and you can drag it whatever you want in here. There's a lot more in the blog. This is more of a all sorts of tips, not organized basically by timeline in here as well. So those are some of the resources that you have at your disposal as well. So let me go through. If you want to try some of this yourself and you don't want to download this large virtual machine, you want to try something out and just have access to BI Cloud Services and say, well, okay, what is this with BI Cloud Services? What does that look like? You can try that out on our test drive. There's the URL, www.valamis.com/td. That runs on the Oracle Cloud entirely. There we also have test drives for BI Cloud Services. We also have an advanced analytics test drive. Initially we just have Oracle data mining on that, but there are more test drives will be added later on. You get access to that for free for 24 hours. We include, by the way, a click-by-click script. So this is meant for that 1-2 hours. Hey, I just want to try something out and see what it's like before I invest some resources or invest time in signing up for my own trial account, that type of thing. So that's why we include a PDF file that takes you through click-by-click, what to click on, what it does, and so forth. And then if you want to go off-road, you surely can, because it is the real functioning software using the BI Cloud Services account. So encourage you to try that out if you want to see what that looks like yourself. If you want other resources on this, these are some resources that you can take a look at. This presentation will be available on our website at www.valamis.com. We blog about these types of things. By the way, if you want to follow us on Twitter, if you follow Valamis Software, you'll know when we do all these various webcasts. Encourage others to do that as well if you don't mind. And we do this periodically when there are new Oracle BI releases that are coming out, and when there's new SampleApp releases, as well as other things. And there's the URL once again for the SampleApp release. You'll find from that page a link to all sorts of things, the YouTube channel. This is the BIX demo as part of the OTN Summit. If you want to see a fuller version of BI Cloud Services, I did give a demo as part of that. If you look on our website, you'll see a link to a YouTube video, a recording of that specific webcast. I'll also put out a quick plug for, there's a conference, if you're into this type of stuff of running BI and analytics, there's a conference that I happen to be co-chair of called BI Summit 2017. You'll find more information at bwisummit.org. And we're accepting abstracts to be presented. This takes place on the Oracle headquarters campus at the Oracle Conference Center at the end of January 2017 into February. So come and join us, submit an abstract, get to come for free, and network with your peers that are interested in Oracle technology. With that, that's what I have prepared to showcase you all. I'm happy to take questions that people have if you put them in the chat box or in the questions panel. I'll handle those as they come up. I believe we also can handle questions that might come up about SampleApp specifically and try and address any of your questions. I can go back and showcase some more things if people have specific questions, but that's what I especially wanted to go through. I'll put up also, while we're at it, the listing on the index so you can see a lot of the cool stuff that's in this release of SampleApp. So let me know if you want to see what that looks like in terms of the chat window. If you come back, let's see, come back here. This is what the chat box looks like. And you can ask questions in this chat window box, such. One question came in asking when will BI apps be supported via BIX. You know, I don't know of BI apps specifically supported via BIX. I do know that one of the things when OBIEE 12 came out, they said that BI apps would be supported out of the box for that. BIX supporting apps, I know that one of the features from stuff that I've heard from BI product management is that they're waiting for some additional features coming out in BI Cloud Services to fully support BI apps. What we found, by the way, is that we have actually taken some of our clients and we have already converted them using, you know, for portions of BI apps. It works great in terms of the data working in BIX. What we find is that most of the customers that are implementing BI apps are actually using a very small subset of the BI apps functionality. And we would encourage you to, rather than just saying, oh, well, it doesn't work with BIX, fully supported, because as a software company, when you say something's fully supported, you mean fully supported. Often for specific use cases, for specific companies, you'll find that there's a lot that you can do. I encourage you to at least ask the question and look at that a little more deeply rather than just, oh, when is it fully supported? I know that there's discussions on exactly how they handle that type of thing. Other questions? One question came in, where do you start with SampleApp? You know, there's a lot there. So let me go ahead and show you. When I come in here, let me show a couple things on this. When I start this up, the home screen, you know, comes up and it doesn't show as much as it shows kind of a nice home screen for this. We've got this configured to go to the index. But then when I look at the index in here, there's a lot here. So here's the home screen that comes up. You can create all sorts of stuff. This is not where I go. I click on SampleApp Index, and then the major area in here is Quick Start. So you can go to the main index, list of users, SampleApp launch board. This Quick Start overview is the place that I generally go just to give a demo of what's going on. So in this quick start area, you can see I've got some performance tiles. I've got a nice trellis view and a table with a graph and line chart. And if I just want to show somebody how the product works, I can show them examples of dashboard prompts, easily selecting these. I can show an example of, there's a reason why this was put together with different types of prompts. And it's so that you can showcase different ways of building a dashboard with checkboxes or via search function. You can choose the members this way for a products hierarchy and so forth. But this is where I go for looking at an overview or office details and so forth for this. Click through these tabs. That's where I go as 1.3 Quick Start. So I can see, there's examples of prompts and even controlling what tables we go after. There's a lot here for this. All right, so another question come up, is there a location where Oracle provides scripts that can be followed to showcase OBA functions or showcase what the various BI apps provides out of the box? I'm going to take that question a little more broadly. Location where Oracle provides scripts that can be followed to showcase OBA functions. That, I would say, is SampleApp. We rip it apart all the time, and if you look and see how this was done on this, in each of these features, you can tear this apart and see how are they doing these commentaries and such, and how are they doing the, you just go and edit the dashboard, and you can see how was this done, where would this link, what's the URL of that link, and so forth. That's what we use. And then the second part of the question is what the various BI apps provides out of the box. There is, when you get SampleApp, there is the ability to run kind of a small subset of the BI apps. If you want the full BI apps, those are available as downloads as well. It's not on that same site. I don't recall exactly where it is off the top of my head, but that's available as well. How long does it, another question, how long does it typically take to integrate R with advanced analytics in database and combine it with BIX? It's kind of a little bit of a how long is the rope. It depends on what you're doing. I will tell you that integrating R is a programming language. Let me show you just something that you can do looking at this. If I go into advanced analytics, come in here in Oracle Data Mining and Oracle R Enterprise, if I go into the R Workbench area, you can see you can integrate R into showcasing what you can do in various visuals and running R scripts to do something like a QCC result in here. There's a bunch of these different types of scripts that you can run. Here's the example of the R code. My point is, if you're going to write R code, you're going to take some time writing the R functions. If you want to capitalize on the capabilities of running data mining in here, you can actually go in and run, if I come back here, the index, and look at under advanced analytics, if I look at data mining, I can do data mining, clustering algorithms, and so forth, and it doesn't take that long. We run actually a day-long workshop. We can get people up to speed on what to do with data mining within a week, and we have a quick start package for doing that. And you can get going with that and integrate it. You use BI as the showcase to showcase all of your work that you do in data mining and Oracle R Enterprise, and expose it via the OBIEE interface. If you want to just see how would I get going with Oracle data mining, for instance, that's one of our test drives, and the interface you use for that is a plug-in to SQL Developer that just loads as part of SQL Developer. That's what our Advanced Analytics Test Drive does. And you can play with it, try it out, see if you like it before you invest the time to get your own account and ask the DBAs for the privileges you need and so forth. So how long does it take to integrate? Yeah, it can take a while. But some of these functions, you'll see, as you rip this apart, you can see exactly how they're done. And you can get a sense of what you'd need to do. Really, it takes longer to figure out in many cases for your organization what are the types of analytics that you want to do that would be effective in your organization. That's what takes a while, is figuring out what to do. Another question. Different ways to integrate the ORE and R in the BI server. When you're integrating these, you can run R either on the database server using Oracle R Enterprise, or you can load, when you're running R in the BI server, you can run R in the BI server on the middle tier, and that will do the calculations on the middle tier. Generally, when you install OBIEE, you get an embedded R server that runs in the middle tier, and then you can access the data anywhere it's coming from because it is being massaged in the middle tier. Indeed, when you right-click, when I showed at the very beginning, I said add a forecast, that's what that was doing. It was running the forecast in the R engine on the middle tier. There's actually a very simple trick. We've got a blog entry that showcases how to do it, and you just edit your BI configuration files so that you're running R in ORE, and it'll run in the database instead of on the middle tier. It's a little more performant that way and can take advantage of parallel processing, that type of thing, on your big honkin' database server. Typically, you have more horsepower on your database server than you do your middle tier. So you can do that as well. I'm going to go back and show some of the resources, and then I'm going to wrap up. So down here, these are some of the resources. If you missed it before, you can go to these links. I encourage you to download SampleApp yourself and try it out. Look at the YouTube video, and look at the BI demo store. Come back here. In this downloads, you can see the BI public store, and you can download these and run these in Data Visualization Desktop yourself. It's a very nice store, and look for more things coming out later on that. With that, I'll thank you all for attending, and follow us at Vlamis Software so that we can let you know about future webcasts. Thanks a lot.